Good day, everybody. Good day. Good day. So today's video is titled, "Why you are so much closer to stopping smoking than you think." You are so much closer to stopping smoking than you think. And there's a few reasons for this, really. Number one, smoking is no longer seen as cool anymore. It's really not. It's not seen as cool anymore. In fact, smoking, especially in the UK and the US, is a source of shame for a lot of people. It's a big source of embarrassment, in fact, for a lot of people. No one wants to be on the losing side. No one wants to seem like they're weak, you know, or that they're not in control. And more smokers are starting to... People are kind of seeing smokers as that, you know, weak and not in control. It's not the reality of the situation. Maybe they're not quite in control, but they're definitely not weak. They've just been tricked by the tobacco industry to believe the myths. But because smoking isn't cool, and not seen as cool, it's not like the old days where, you know, everyone was doing it. Now there's so many secret smokers, and it's really hard for people to justify to themselves why they smoke. So more and more people are stopping, which relates to the next point, why you're so close. Because so many people are stopping smoking every day, literally so many hundreds or thousands of people are stopping smoking every day, that it's no longer perpetuating the myth that it must be really difficult to stop smoking. You know, people are seeing, you know, Sharon down the road who smokes 30 a day for 20 years. She's just, you know, suddenly stopped. So if she can do it, I can do it. And as people learn more and more about other smokers that are stopping, it's helping to reinforce the idea that they can break free as well. Another reason why you're so close is because the medical industry are no longer perpetuating the myth that smoking is actually good for you. Believe it or not, doctors and professors used to tell people that smoking was good for you. That yeah, they did. I mean, we're talking way back now, but unbelievably, they used to tell people this, and people believed it. People actually believed it. It's almost like people will believe anything if an expert tells them it. Yeah, it's madness. But they no longer do that. Everyone knows that smoking is bad for you. Everyone knows that smoking is terrible for you. So people can no longer people don't really have the justifications that they had before. Another reason why you're so close is because you're realizing how much money you're spending every year. Yeah, every month, every year, and over your lifetime, that's $150,000 if you live in the US and £150,000 if you live in the UK that smokers are spending on smoking in their lifetime. Yeah. What the hell? Like, that's just, it's really difficult to justify that to your family. That could be a new house in Florida for that kind of money, you know? So it's madness. And smokers are starting to really kind of see that clearly, and as cigarettes become more and more expensive, as governments increase the tax on them, rightly or wrongly so, it's becoming harder for smokers to justify their smoking. And another reason, and the most important reason actually, why you're so close to actually stopping smoking is because you're starting to realize that smoking probably never actually gave you anything. In fact, smoking definitely never actually gave you anything. All of the reasons that you thought you had for smoking were essentially illusions, because now you're starting to understand the nicotine stress cycle. In fact, more and more people are starting to understand the nicotine stress cycle. And this is the understanding that smoking fills your body up with nicotine. And as that nicotine leaves your body relatively quickly, because our bodies are amazing healing machines that will expel the drug, it creates this empty, insecure, empty, stress-filled type feeling, little bit similar to hunger, that can only be relieved by a subsequent cigarette. So then you smoke another cigarette, and that will fill your body back up with nicotine and return it to those levels of when you first started smoking, that equilibrium state, the state that you felt before you started smoking. Essentially, smoking never ever gave us anything. Smoking never ever gave us anything. We were fine before we started smoking. We'd never contemplated smoking to help us with stress or to calm down or to relax or whatever justifications we had. We were perfect before we started smoking. But then we got tricked in the smoking snare, and we filled our body up with nicotine, and as that nicotine left the body, that's when that empty feeling was created. And our only way to get rid of that, we thought, was to smoke another cigarette. The reality though is that we can get rid of that feeling. Once we should actually be enjoying that feeling, because that feeling is our body healing ourselves and getting rid of nicotine permanently. What's great about smoking, what's really great about smoking, what's amazing about nicotine, let me finish my point. Smoking is the most addictive drug to man. It's true. But what is kind of amazing about it is that the withdrawal feeling isn't that bad, yeah? isn't that bad. Mostly it's in the mind, yeah? It's not like other drugs like alcohol or opioids, that there are some, you know, physical consequences of you taking that drug immediately. With smoking, there's no physical risk if you suddenly just stop smoking. None, yeah? So smokers are scared about smoking because of the effects that it might have, but listen, literally, no one's ever damaged themselves by stopping smoking, okay? No one has ever damaged themselves by stopping smoking. One more time, no one has ever damaged themselves by stopping smoking, yeah? But millions of people die every year and damage themselves every year by continuing to smoke. But millions of people die every year and damage themselves every year by continuing to smoke. That is the reality of the situation, yeah? And really, once you do understand the nicotine stress cycle, it becomes so much easier to break free from smoking. So much easier. Understanding the nicotine stress cycle is a fundamental step in becoming a happy and permanent non-smoker. If anyone has any questions or would like to understand more, I'm happy to answer questions anytime, as anyone who's ever asked me a question about this realizes. I'm down for you people. Have a lovely day. Lovely day. Peace and love.